everyone, welcome back to another video. So from the title you will obviously guess what this video is. This is basically a removal video with a hand file versus an e-file and how much quicker it is either way. So I've never actually done something like this, so I'm gonna look really stupid now if I'm like, yeah, you should e-file because it's so much quicker, and then it's actually not. But anyway, I'm just in the middle of soaking 2 nails off already. I've basically just suddenly thought of doing this video after just filming another one. So I've just filmed a e-file bit, like Willow Academy versus cheaper e-file bit video. So this one was actually removed by the cheaper one, but I didn't think about this before actually filming it. So you're going to see the clip of me removing this nail instead of this one, just because the Willow Academy one is the one that I use. So it's the one that's more of an actual, like, a versus challenge for me, because I wouldn't use a cheaper one that takes a little bit longer. So you'll see the clip of me removing this one, but obviously you'll see me actually soaking this one. But that is mainly just because this one was the same thickness, so the soak off time is going to be exactly the same. So my plan is we are going to basically, I don't know why I've took that off, that was a stupid thing to do. So these two have just got a real thin layer of acrylic on them. I'm just soaking that off. So I'm going to be showing you the difference basically between e-filing for removal and then soaking a little bit to a full soak off and a hand file. So my plan is, obviously you'll see the clip of me removing this with the e-file as much as I can. This is how much is left of this nail. I don't know if it's going to focus or not. There we go. So that's how much is left of this nail. There's not a lot there at all, because that is how much I have removed from the e-file. So it took me with this nail 2 minutes and 6 seconds, I think it was, to file down to a very thin clear layer. So then I'm going to do what I need to do with the pinky nail with my hand file, and then we're going to basically see which one is quicker. So I'm going to do this one with the one that I've done with the e-file first, just because obviously I've already pre-filmed that bit, so I can add that in and then edit it as I go along. So you'll see basically the next clip will be me e-filing this down. I will have to voice over that because it's really noisy. So let's just get straight into it and see what the difference is. Okay, so obviously you've just watched me file this down with my e-file, and like I mentioned, that took a couple of minutes. So I'm now just going to get a foil remover pad with some cotton wool on it, and then I'm going to put that cotton pad on the acetone and then just wrap this up. I am then going to sit and time this. I'm not obviously going to make you sit and time it with me, but I'm going to time it on my phone of how long it takes basically for me to remove this, and then when it comes to like taking it off, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. I'm basically just going to give both of them 5 minutes each. So we'll do 5 minutes, take it off, scrape, 5 minutes, take it off, scrape, as many times as we possibly need to. So this one has just gone on. I'm going to put a timer on now for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes. I'll take it off in front of you, and then we can see where we are and see what we've got left. It's been 5 minutes, although it feels like forever. So we're going to take it off now and have a look what we look like underneath. So this is what we are left with. I don't want to wait too long to scrape, else it'll start hardening up again. So I'm just going to scrape off what is able to be scraped off. I'm not putting any pressure on at all. I'm literally just making sure that I remove only what is able to be removed. I'm not forcing any off, just getting anything that's easy. It looks like I'm being really aggressive, but I promise, oh gosh, I promise that I'm not. So I'm going to give that a quick, oh gosh, that bit doesn't want to leave. It's on the free edge anyway, so it'll file off. So I'm going to give it a quick file. My nails are really super thin, so I have to be quite careful when I'm doing removals on them, because it is really easy for me to cause damage on them. Doing this so up close is super difficult without knocking my phone. I don't know why I just don't move my phone further away and then just zoom in a little bit more. That would make life so much easier. Okay, so this nail, I am actually just going to move my phone a little bit because I'm going to whack it in a minute. Is done. Just noticed I didn't actually finish my sentence. So obviously I am going to be applying more product. So this now, like me filing the surface, would be my prep for my product. I'm not going to be applying it straight away, obviously, because I've got the other finger to do. I don't think I'm actually going to do the application today anyway, but that would now be ready for the next one. I know it looks really gross, but that's just because my nails are in awful condition, and it will look much better when it's fully what's the word, prepped. But yeah, I've always told you that my nails are gross anyway, so you've got to expect that. So that's how long that one took. So it took me 2 minutes. 2 minutes to e-file it down, remove all the excess length, and also file it down to a really thin layer. So that took 2 minutes. And then we put it on for 5 minutes, so that's 7 minutes, and then scraped off, say, for a minute. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes for full removal. And obviously, although I've only done one nail, it wouldn't be 10 minutes per nail, because I'd put like the wrap on one nail while I'm doing the next one and stuff like that, so it wouldn't take very long at all. When I'm doing full removals for my clients and they've actually booked in for a removal, I book out 45 minutes, but that is literally from the very start to the very end. So after the 45 minutes, that includes my 10 minutes cleaning time between clients, so it's basically 35 minutes for the actual full-on removal. The cuticle prep again, and then a nice buff to a shine, and like some cuticle oil and hand cream. So I do all the cuticle area as well afterwards, just to make sure they look nice and neat, especially obviously if they're having a new application. But that's what I do. So it is definitely much quicker, and I know that, but I just thought it would be interesting for you to see the actual difference. So here I'm going to start doing this one now. Obviously we're going to time how long this one takes. So instead of obviously filing down the length on this one, I am going to cut it down. So I'm actually going a bit longer than I need to with this cutting, because if you cut it straight down, like really far down at first, you run the risk of cutting it too far down and then it damaging the natural nail underneath and splitting in a way that you just really don't want it to. So I'm always going from side to side. Make sure you look underneath. If you're doing somebody else's nails, make sure you look underneath to see if their hypernicum is there, because some people have a really high one, so you don't want to obviously be cutting that off by accident, because there's a lot of blood, and if you're like me and you pass out at the sign of it, it's not really helpful. So I am going to file off the top coat from this nail. So just bear in mind, like the actual process itself as well. It's not all about the, what's it called, the time that everything takes. This process in itself is putting a lot of strain on my wrists, hands, and your back, which might sound bizarre, but it is. Every movement that basically your hand movement triggers, it has an impact on. So this is the main reason that I got e-file trained. It basically just became unbearable. I was in a hell of a lot of pain. My services were taking me longer, so my back hurt for longer because I was basically doing the same set for longer. So it was longer between me being able to stand up and like have a walk around. Obviously you can do that in between, like when you've got a client with you, if you really need to, like your health becomes before anything, and I'm sure your client won't mind you just having a quick stand up, but you shouldn't have to do that, because you need to do everything you can to make your job comfortable. So having said that, I'm not going to file any more of this down, simply just because if I did this more on every single nail, by the time this set was over I'd be in agony, and I would now as well, just because I've been sat at this desk for way too long today. So here is that nail. So this is how thin I filed it down. Obviously I've not filed it down as thin as I would with the e-file, because it is a lot more work to be able to do that. So I'm now going to start soaking this off. We're going to pop it into the foil for 5 minutes like I did the last one, and then we'll come back after 5 minutes and see how much of it is soaked and where we're at with it. Okay, we're back. It's been 5 minutes. I'm now just going to take this off, see what we are looking like, and then we're just going to scrape off. Like I said before, I'm not scraping off more than I should. Like, I'm not putting a load of pressure on and really like trying to get more off. I am literally just taking off what comes off easily, because then I know that I'm not pulling any bits off that are still stuck, and it's not going to cause as much damage. So once I've scraped it off, I'm then just going to get my file again and just give it a quick go over, just to rough it up again. Get off any excess, because you don't want to keep soaking off bits that have already soaked, because that is literally a waste of time, so we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to pop some more acetone on this piece of cotton, and then we're going to put this back on and we're going to do another 5 minutes. So far we've got, I think it took a couple of minutes for me to cut it down and file off everything, so that was 2 minutes we'll say, and then obviously we've put it in for 5, so that's 7 minutes, and now we're going to do another 5, so that'll bring us to 12 minutes so far. Okay, it's been another 5 minutes, so we're going to see where we are with it this time. I'm going to take that off. There we go. That's all the excess off. So we are getting there. There is definitely, obviously, less on there now, which is good, but I've still got quite a way to go. So this time I am going to leave it on for 7 minutes, just to give it a little bit extra time, because if I keep doing it in 5-minute stages, we're going to be here for a really long time, and to be quite honest, I am getting so bored of being sat here waiting for this nail. So yeah, I'm going to do this one for 7 minutes, so give it a little bit longer, and then we'll have a look, and then after that I'm basically just going to give it as long as it needs and just let you know how long it's been, and then we'll talk more about it after that. So I'm just going to open this back up again. So bear in mind we're now on 12 minutes for this nail so far. Obviously you wouldn't be doing one nail at a time on a client, like you'd do everything all at the same time. Like you could wrap this one up while you sort the next one out and blah blah blah, so it won't take you like this long per nail. But let's see how this next 7 minute goes. Okay, that next 7 minutes is up and I'm getting super bored. But I'm not going to literally just let this go on forever, because we are going to be here for so long. So I am just going to soak the rest off camera for as long as it takes, and then we'll be able to chat about it. Well, basically there's not really much left for me to say, so I might just pop this back on, and then obviously I can just chat to you while we're waiting for it, instead of me just talking at you after I've done it, as this video is going to take me a hell of a lot longer to do than I wanted it to. So basically my main point of this video was to show you that if you are considering getting e-file trained, it is literally worth it, even if you only use your e-file for removals. It just is so much quicker. Like removing gel polish from extensions or overlays like a product is so much quicker, and such less effort when you don't have to use your hand file. Basically the only thing I use a hand file now for is shaping the free edge. That is it. I use sanding bands to prep the natural nail. I use sanding bands to make sure that my enhancements after I finish them are refined before gel polish. Or if I'm just refining an acrylic set that is a design itself and it just needs top coating, like I literally just use sanding bands for everything that I'd usually use my hand file for. And that's basically it. So I just wanted to show you that it is definitely worth doing. I do not recommend using an e-file if you are not e-file trained, and I know that the people that want to use one without e-file training are probably really sick of hearing that, and it is really annoying. And I'm not going to lie to you, I started using an e-file on myself, not clients, before I was trained. And I'm also not going to lie to you about the fact that it was a bad idea. I created so much damage to myself, and to be fair, I'm almost certain that that is one of the reasons my nails are in such bad condition now, and why they will be forever. Because you just don't know what you're doing. Like, there's so much that goes into it. It's not just about just picking it up and going with it. There's RPMs. You need to know what, basically, what RPMs you need to have your e-file on for each different bit, because every bit is different. You need to know about the pressures, even about how you're holding your e-file, where your elbow is while you're doing that, like the position you're sitting in. You need to know about what the different e-file bits do, what the different materials of e-file bits are for, and the differences between them, and what you'd use for which one. what you can use mainly on the skin and not really on the nails, and vice versa. Like, there is so much that goes into e-file use, and I think it's really, really important that you know all of that before you go in and start using your e-file on other people. It's so important. So as much as it sounds annoying when you hear the people that are trained saying like, oh, you should be trained, like, it's not because we're being bitchy and we're saying like, oh, we've paid for training and so should you. It's definitely not that. It is 100% just about your own and client safety. It's just not worth the hassle. They cause so much damage if in the wrong hands, as you can see from the state of my nails, because I used them way before I should have. And it's a bad idea, so definitely get trained. I like to keep up to date with my training. The last training that I did was January 2020, and the training before that was a year before that, I think. So I definitely like to go on it at least once a year. This year in 2021 I am 100% going on Willow Academy training. I actually cannot wait. So even though I am fully trained, you can never know too much. You can learn tips and tricks from other people. There's always something that you don't know, and even if you do know anything, it doesn't hurt you to just get another tick on your list of training, because obviously it helps towards just keeping your knowledge what's the word, fresh in your mind. So it's always good to keep on top of it. I do training quite often for different things and workshops online with people and stuff like that. It's definitely worth it. So anyway, I'm going to stop chewing your ear off. I hope this video was useful to you if you are thinking about getting e-file trained, or just if you are for some reason interested in e-files but don't want an e-file, then why not? Just, I watch the most random videos on YouTube sometimes, so you might not even have any sort of interest in this field of work, but you never know how you might have stumbled across this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and it was useful even a little bit. I am hoping to do more videos like this, but like I said, I will not have like actual teaching of how to do things on my channel. That is not what my channel is for. That will be what my courses are for when I finally roll them out, when we can actually work again. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do. I have such a variety of videos on my channel, and I am posting every day at the moment at 10 AM. So you'll always have something to watch when you finish work, or when you wake up, or whenever you just sat down with a cup of coffee, when you finish homeschooling. So yeah, I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you have a good one tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye!